welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Yes, I never have too much of a grip on what day it is, where we're going to be attempting to scale the Eiger today in the form of a brand new puzzle from Qodec, one of my favourite constructors. Now, the reason I'm going to be trying this for you, well, this actually might never become a video, to be honest, but we've had a lot of requests for this. We have had recommendations for it as well, but we've had a lot of requests from people who've tried it and haven't been able to find a way through it. I looked it up on Logic Masters Germany just now, and the comments are crazy. I snipped them so we could have a look at them together. So Mixo, absolutely beautiful construction. Now Mixo is a very good judge of a puzzle and a brilliant solver and setter. George the Toad says this is a wonderful killer Sudoku codec. The break-in was very clever and all the cages had something to say about the opening. It still managed to keep me entertained for 2 hours. But the one I really liked was this one from Niverio, who says, "This is the most brutal and the most unexpected solve path I have ever seen from Qodec. Ridiculous." It's a ridiculous puzzle. So yeah, anyway, Niverio is an absolutely brilliant solver. So if he's found this a ridiculous solve, I've no doubt it is very, very difficult indeed. So it could be a long video, and it may never become a video, but I will try it for you in a moment. And it is just a plain killer Sudoku, which is a rare thing on the channel nowadays, to just have a, no accoutrement beyond the cages. I'll read you the rules in a moment or two's time. A couple of things to mention first. Chants of Sennaar, the 5th part of Mark and I's attempt to finish this language video game, will probably be next Tuesday night at 10 o'clock UK time. We've been trying to align our diaries with Christmas coming up. It's not as easy as... God, Maverick's got a helicopter today and wants to buzz past the window. Sorry. Sorry if you can hear that as the windows rattle. Yes, so we are trying to align our diaries. I think next Tuesday looks the best bet, so we'd love to have your company for that. If you're interested, please check out our Kickstarter. That's going great guns. This is to create this wonderful Fog of War Sudoku novella with loads and loads of Sudokus, which are all obviously Fog of War Sudokus, built around it. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. But the thing that's really been going incredibly well, much better than I think we realised, is this Snackdoku pack over on Patreon, which is our December reward. So it's a competition running until the 20th of December to solve 100, and they're 4x4s. And they're each intended to take only a minute or two's time to finish. So they're not monstrous, but they give you just an amazing insight into variant Sudoku. It is a great way of learning. And we've had loads and loads of comments from people who've never managed to finish any of our monthly rewards before, saying that they have been able to do this one, even though there were 100 puzzles. And it's been lovely to get the feedback. So if you are a patron, do try and spend some of your Christmas time solving those puzzles. I think you will enjoy it. The other thing we've got over on Patreon, which is a completely different kettle of fish altogether, is my solve of Broken Secrets by TotallyNormalCat. And totally that is a very, very hard puzzle. It's no Snackdoku, let me tell you. Now, I've got a couple of birthdays to do today. I'm going to start by wishing a very happy birthday to Lilith. No, not the one in Diablo 4 who I battle occasionally when I get a spare moment. This is Lilith, who has turned 26 today down there in southern Brazil. And Lilith, I know it's your birthday because your brother Aaron wrote to us and told us and said you'd appreciate a shout out. So Lilith, many happy returns. I hope you have chocolate cake today, and you get all the presents that you desire. And then another birthday, and this is to David over there in Sweden, I think in Lund. Your daughters Mylena and Miriam wrote to us very amusingly, actually, David. They said they asked me to read you this message. They love you, even though you spend more time with Sudoku than you do with them. David, you sound like a man after my own after my own heart. Many happy returns on your 54th birthday. I hope you have a great day today with, of course, cake. Now, that all said and done, let us turn our attention to the great Qodec, and let's see if we can scale the Eiger today. The rules of the puzzle are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. And then we've just got killer Sudoku, so digits in cages have to sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage. So for example, those 5 cells sum to 27, and digits cannot repeat within a cage. So whatever that digit is, you couldn't repeat it in those squares. Let's try and find let's use the 23 cage. Again, those 5 digits add up to 23, but they can't repeat a digit in doing that. That's all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And let's see how ridiculous this is. So let's have a quick look at the grid. I can see 3 things that might be interesting. I don't know which one to look at first, so I'll tell you what they are and then we'll go through them. So one thing I'm seeing is I've got 2 5 cages here. Now 5 cages only have 2 ways to become 5 cages. They're either 1 4s or 2 3s. I don't know. That pattern makes me think we're supposed to realise either they're the same or they're different, but I can't see anything immediately. If they were different, that corner cell would have to be at least a 5, which is actually not interesting at all because the average digit for a 3-cell 15 cage is 5. So making that at least a 5 is not really putting a great deal of pressure on it. Okay, let's have a look at something else that I've seen that sort of involves a secret. So now, I hope all of you know the secret of Sudoku. It's the helicopter again, Maverick, leave me alone. I hope all of you know the secret of Sudoku by now, but if you don't, do not worry, I will share it with you, because I tell my favourite people the secret, and if you're still watching this video, you definitely deserve to know the secret. The secret is, of course, that any complete row, any complete column, and any complete box of a Sudoku, because of the rules of Sudoku, contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. And if you add the digits up, you get 45. So we know that a complete row of a Sudoku, complete column, or a complete box adds to 45. Now, if you see a cage in a killer Sudoku with the number 45 in it, you know it must be a 9-cell cage. You don't even have to count it, because it must contain all of the Sudoku digits once each, because you can't have a repeated digit in a cage. Now, what's interesting about this 45 cage is that nested within it, snuggling like little eggs in a real nest, are 2 13 cages. Now, where are the digits that are in these 13 cages to be found in the 45 cage? And the answer is, we don't know exactly, but obviously those digits there, they can't go in those cells of the 45 cage, yet they must appear in the 45 cage because the 45 cage contains all the digits. So those digits have to be in those cells exactly. So whatever that is... hang on, I've seen something else which is not to do with the other thing I was going to tell you at the start. Yeah, okay. So this cage here, there are right. Let me change tack slightly. There are 3 ways to make 13 in a Sudoku domino. So those ways are 4 and 9, 5 and 8, and 6 and 7. So we can see that this must be one of those flavours of 13 cage. And whatever it is, I'm going to make it orange. We can see that this digit must be from the green cage now, because these 4 digits are, let's actually label this properly, these 4 digits are made up of these 4 digits, But this one can't be orange, so that must be green. But the other thing I've seen is that because these two flavours of 13 cage have to be different, what's that cage? Well, that's the other version of 13. Because, if this was 6-7 and this was 5-8, this could not be 6-7 or 5-8, could it? Because if it was, it would be rendering these digits impossible to exist. So this cage is the other of the three different flavours of 13 cage. Right, and now... Well, now these cages are also orange and green, because neither of these cages can be the version of 13 that's in the blue cage. Now that means that these four digits, the geometry of these 45 cages with their nests in them, are identical. So those digits are all green and orange now. But, okay. I'm now realising it might be harder. Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure I can pull the same trick here. I labelled this as orange and said therefore that has to be green. But actually, if I'd started in the bottom of the grid and labelled this as orange or green, then that would have not been allowed to be whatever this domino is. And it is completely symmetrical, actually. There's a lot of symmetry here. So let's see where the symmetry is broken. So what I'm seeing is, if I missed out those cages and these cages, imagine those cages I've just highlighted, these red cages, weren't in the grid at all. Well then, if you were to rotate this grid around 180 degrees, imagine around this central cell, you just flip the grid around 180 degrees, you get the same puzzle, wouldn't you? Exactly the same puzzle. So the symmetry is being broken by the red cages, which means it's the red cages that are causing there to be a unique solution. Because if a puzzle is exactly symmetrical, it'll have at least two solutions. Well, this wasn't. I did have one other idea, which I will perhaps now move on to. No, I'm going to change my mind, actually. I just want to go back and think about the 5 cages again, because I've noticed something. If that's a 2-3 cage, where do you put those digits in box 3? Because 2 and 3 can never go in a 13 cage. Right, here is a little point. Okay, let's imagine this is a 2-3 cage and this is a 2-3 cage. That breaks the puzzle. And that's because of the way these 45 cages sort of twist round. So if this is 2-3, where do you put 2 and 3 in box 3? Well, you have to put it here. And the same logic, of course, applies down at the bottom of the grid. So now where do you put 2 and 3 in box 9? And by Sudoku, because you can't put them in a 2-cell 13 cage, you put them both in the 8 cage. But here is a knowledge bomb. 2 plus 3 is not equal to 8, so you can't do that. Which means that at least one of these 5 cages is 1-4. Right, let's have a look. If they're both 1-4, that's more difficult. Let me just think about this. We'd get a 1-7 cage in the 8 domino here, because again you can't put 1 in a 13 cage. So these 1s would pinch into box 9. Can't put 1 in a 13 cage because 12 is not a valid Sudoku digit. So you get a 1-7 cage here, which would mean the problem is I don't know what we do with the 4. The 4 can go in the 13 cage. If it didn't go in the 13 cage, it would have to go if in either. Well, I suppose if the 4 went into one of the oranges, it has to go into both of the oranges because of the colouring I don't know, actually. Sorry, I thought we might be able to prove that that these couldn't be a 1-4 pair. If they're different, I think all of the pressure. It's like a chess. It's like a game of chess where all the tension leaves the board. We've exchanged the queens there by making this a 1-4 and 2-3, because now, well, it's still true to say you have to put 1 there, and it's still true to say you have to put a 2-3 here. But in this box here, all of the pressure has left the system, because 1 could go in the 8 cage, 2 or 3 could go in the 8 cage, but the other of 2 or 3 can escape up column 9. The 1 can escape down row 9. So we've exchanged the queens and nothing is happening. Okay. It's quite interesting to think about where these 2 blue digits go in column 8. I know. I know when I use the word, when I say things are quite interesting. A lifetime of going to parties and having it drummed into me that really I'm not that interesting comes back and haunts me. But look, where do these 2 digits go? And they've got to be in 2 of those 3 cells, because they can't be orange or green digits. I don't think. Well, those 2 digits have to go into the 45 cage, don't they? So 2 of these 4 digits have to be blue. So if the blue digits were in column 9, then those would both be blue. But there's no problem, I think, with putting a blue digit in a 23 cage. Okay, I'm going to have a look at the other thought I had, which was around box 5, where I can certainly see that there's secret opportunities to be used. So those cells and those cells, they've clearly got a secret relationship, haven't they? What I mean by that is that, let's make those purple. These squares, these purple squares, add up to 46 plus the middle digit. But these squares add up to 45. Which tells us that, so if we deduct, so we're saying that 46, so if this was a 1, let me just think about this. I think there's probably an equation we can do in our brains here. So if this was 1, what that's telling us is that these 2 digits have to add up to 2, isn't it? Because if this is 1, now all of the purple digits add up to 47. The greys add up to 45. So those are the difference. And they have to add up to 2, which is definitely not possible, because we can't have a string of 1s across that. Yeah, so whatever we put in here, these 2 digits add up to 1 more than whatever we put in here. Right, so this can't be 2, because if this is 2, that has to then, these 2 have to add up to 3, and they have to be a 1-2 pair, which can't work if you've put a 2 there. If you make this 3, these can't add up to 4, because you can't use a 1. These would have to be a 1-3 pair. It's the only way to make 2 different digits add up to 4 in Sudoku. If you make this 4, these have to add up to 5, and they could be a 2-3 pair. They couldn't be a 1-4 pair then. Okay, that might be fine. If you make this 5, then these have to add up to 6 without using 5, so these would be a 2-4 pair. If you make this 6, so again, the tension's leaving the board, isn't it? If you make this 6, these have to add up to 7 without using 1-6, so they can be 2-5 or 3-4. Yeah, so let's just have a think about 9, but I think 9's going to have all sorts of options. If this is 9, yeah, these add up to 10, and they can't be 1 and 9, but they could be 3-7, they could be 4-6, they could be 2-8. So yeah, okay, so that digit is it just can't be 1, 2, or 3, which means this cell has 6 options, which is, I'm not even prepared to pencil mark that, I'm afraid. I did have another thought, actually, which was whether this was set related, because I can certainly see that. I don't quite know how to show this, but let me try for a moment. If you highlight this sort of wagon wheel of digits that are all coming into the middle box, you can see that these digits, they overlap to a very large extent with the set of digits that would be the whole. Let me use a different color. The whole of, no, I'll use black actually so we can really see it. The whole of this row, that adds up to 45. The whole of this column adds up to 45, and the whole of this box adds up to 45. And that actually almost completely overlaps with the purple digits. The problem is that in doing that cell's in that cell. So to equate the purple cells and the black cells, you'd have to, that black cell was in 3 different versions of 45. So that would have to count 3 times, or be added 3 times to the purple set. And these digits are all in twice, aren't they? So you get some complicated maths. Hang on. Before we do that, though, let me just do the same thing on column 5, just to check whether that's restricting this digit as well, because we've got the same sort of thing going on there, in the sense that let's add that in and make those. So the black digits clearly add to 45. That's a complete column. The purple digits are 54 plus this digit, aren't they? So. If that's a, we know it can't be a 1. What was it? It could have been a 4, couldn't it? If that's a 4, what have we got then? We've got 58. So these add up to 13 then, because we have to deduct 45 from 58 to get what these are. So these are right. So it works the other way round. These 2 cells add up to 9 more than that cell. Yes. Okay. So the restriction is exactly the opposite, in the sense that if this was 9, then that won't work, because if that's 9, these 2 have to add up to 18, I think. I'm just going to double check my maths there. So we've got 54, yeah, 63. 63 minus 45 is 18, that is right. So these have to add up to 18. You can't do that because we can't put double 9 in there. And it's going to be similar for 8, isn't it? If that's 8, these have to add up to 17, which would require the use of an 8 in a 9-8 pair. That doesn't work. And 16 won't work, because if this is 7 and these have to add up to 16, they need to be 9 and 7. That's the only way to make 16 in 2 different Sudoku digits. So that doesn't work. And let me guess, 6 will work with 1 option. So 6, because that's what happened with 4. We're going to find this middle digit is a 5, by the way, because that's what always happens in puzzles like this. 6 is, okay, let's get, so 6, these have to add up to 15 without using 6, so they have to be 7, 8. That's the only way that could work. Oh, right. Okay, that's just totally sick. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. Let me just check 4, because I think I've just spotted something that is absolutely beautiful. If that's 4, what do we say? We need 13 here without using 4. No, that doesn't quite do the same thing. That's 5. That's 5. 5, 6. Yeah, I'm wrong. Okay, right. Watch this. This is pyrotechnics from Qodec. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Okay, if this is 6, these 2 squares have to add up to 15. without using 6. So they have to be 7 and 8. And that breaks the puzzle. It breaks the puzzle. Right there, broken. And that's because of this beautiful symmetrical pattern. Because it doesn't matter which way round we put this 7 and 8. It won't work anymore. Because, look, if that's 8 and that's 7, the point is that 8 now is not allowed to be an orange or a green digit. So these digits can't have 8 in them anymore. So 5 and 8 is no longer an option for the 13 cages down here. But 7 sees all of these, so 7 is not an option in this one, which means 6 and 7 is not an option. And if 6 and 7 and 5 and 8 are not an option for those squares, they all have to be 4s and 9s, because there are only 3 ways of doing the 13 cages. Isn't that beautiful? And note, it doesn't matter if we put the 8 there and the 7 there, because it's the same argument. 7 still sees these 4, and 8 still sees these 4. It's absolutely beautiful. But what is even more beautiful is, watch this. If this is 5, hang on. If this is 5, now these have to add up to 9 more than 5. My phone is buzzing at me. That's okay. If these are 5, these add up to 14 without using 5. There's only one way to do it. It's a 6-8 pair. And 6 and 8 are in different dominoes for 13 cage. So if this is 6, it doesn't matter on the order again. 6 and 8. 6 is wiped out of these squares. So 6 and 7 as a pair, it can't be there. And 8 is wiped out of these pairs, which are these are the same digits, don't forget, because of the communication provided by the blue 13 cage. So now, yeah, this couldn't be 5, 8, couldn't be 6, 7. They'd all be 4s and 9s again. So the middle digit, which I thought was going to be, we were forcing to be 5, is in fact a 4. Which we might as well put it into the grid. So it's a 4. And okay, so now we have to do our thinking again. So these add up to 13 now, but they're not 4, 9. So these are either 5, 8 or 6, 7. And the really cool thing about this is you can see now why this is not going to break the puzzle. Because say this was a 6, 7 pair. 6 is wiped out of this one. So you can't use 6 and 7 up there, but 7's wiped out of this one. So you can't use the same pair, 6 and 7 down here, which would still allow this to be 5s, 8s and 4s and 9s, and it would still work. Oh, good grief. Right. So these are blue. Sorry, that was probably obvious to some people. I'm sorry, I didn't see it immediately. These are blue. Because this pair of digits are the digits that don't live in these 13 cages. And by definition, that's what we said blue was. So blue is now not 4, 9. Blue is either 5, 8 or 6, 7. This, by the way, Qodec, this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the other thought, how much did we say they had to beat? They were 1 more. Yeah, okay, these add up to 1 more than 4. So these add up to 5. So these are a 2, 3 pair. Because they can't be 1, 4 anymore. And that feels like it's doing something to my... What did we say about the 5 cages? We said they can't be 2s and 3s, both of them, can they? Which makes, actually, that we could have proved that. Now we've got this as a 2 or a 3, look. Because if these have both been 2, 3s, forget about the rest of the grid and the geometry that was going into box 9. Let me just do that. If that's red, that would be read by Sudoku, and that would be read by Sudoku, and you get the same digit now in box 1. Okay, so we know for 2 reasons now this is not or we know that we don't have 2 2s and 3s. But if we have 1 2 and 3, let's just think about that for a moment. So if we have 1 2 and 1 3, and this is 1 4, this is what we looked at before. It forces that to be at least 5. It forces a 1 down here, 2 3 over here. That's a red digit. That's a red digit. Don't know. Don't think that's doing. I don't think that's doing anything. I thought it was going to, but I don't think it is. Okay. So because 13 is... Oh, no, hang on. I've put the wrong options in there. For this 13 is the same as this, isn't it? It's 5 8 or 6 7. Now, that means that both... that means that 4 and 9 are definitely in this 2x2, and 4 and 9 are definitely in those squares. And 4 and 9 have to be in 2 of these 4 squares and 2 of these 4 squares. So don't know what that's doing either, sorry. Okay, so maybe one... Here's another thought. Here is another thought. This is weird. Right. These digits and these digits, they end up in each other's cages. In the sense that... Let me just highlight that digit. Let's make that grey. That digit, where does it go in row 5? And the answer is I don't really know, except it's not in those 6 cells, because it can't be in these, because it would repeat in this 23 cage. And it can't be in these, because it's already in box 5. So that digit is over there somewhere. And the same logic applies there. That digit is over there somewhere. The same logic applies in the columns as well. So let's give these different... Oh, I don't know actually, because I want to keep the communication with blue over here. Let's flash. We'll flash the blue digits. So we'll give that one a black flash, and that one can have a yellow flash. So actually, I don't know if I liked it. I don't know if I want to do that actually. No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to do... These are the big decisions in Sudoku. Well, what we'll do is we'll make this... We'll make this blue and yellow, and then we'll make that yellow. So what I'm saying here is that blue and yellow add up to 13, and they go in there. But I don't know the order of them in here. Now yellow has to be down here, doesn't it? And blue has to be up there in column 5. Ah, okay, right. That actually does... Okay, so grey is now there by Sudoku, because grey is definitely a 2 or a 3, and 2 or 3 can't go in the green-orange. And the same is true of red. It's absolutely beautiful, this. The communication between the cages is... It's sort of like the numbers have their own personalities. Now... I don't think I can do the same trick in the columns. Blue is down there somewhere, and yellow is up there somewhere. I mean, I will pencil mark that, I think, just to keep track of everything. So, okay. So in the rows now, both 23 cages contain a 2-3 pair. And 2 and 3 add up to 5. So both 23 cages have 3 digits in them that add up to 18. Right, so where does the 1 go? in row 5? And the answer is I haven't got a clue. But wherever it goes, it will be in a cage with a 2-3 pair and a 1. Those 3 digits add up to 6, which means the other 2 digits have to be an 8-9 pair to get us up to 23. So in row 5 there is a 18923 cage. I don't even know how to pencil mark that though. And the other cage then, if it hasn't got, it's going to have 2 and 3 in it, but it hasn't got 1, 8, and 9, so and it can't have 4, so it's got 5, 6, and 7 to give it the 18 it needs. So one side of this is 5, 6, 7 and a 2, 3 pair, and one side of it is a 1, 8, 9 and a 2, 3 pair. And these digits, if these are a 6, 7 pair, they will go the same side. So if this is a 6, 7 pair, we couldn't put 6 or 7 in either of those. So 6 and 7 would live in 2 of these 3 or 2 of these 3, along with the 2 or the 3 that needed to be there too. If these are 5 and 8, then they get split up, they get isolated, don't they? Because the 8 would have to live with the 1, 8, 9, and the 5 would have to live with the 5, 6, 7. Bobbins. Okay. Do I know anything about this 8 cage now? If this is 6, 7, that would have to be 3, 5, wouldn't it? Because 1, 7 and 2, 6 wouldn't be available. So this would be 3, 5. This would have to include 1s, 2s, 8s and 9s and 5. I don't know. And if that's 5, 8, then this is not 3, 5. So it's 2, 6 or 1, 7. Oh, no, okay. Sorry, that's not that intelligent, is it? Right, what about, let's try the same maths on the columns then. Because we've got the same principle in the sense that 2 of the 3 digits, no, not 2 of the 5 digits in each of these L pentominos add up to 13, don't they? Because blue and yellow inhabit this pentomino, and blue and yellow inhabit this pentomino, and blue and yellow add up to 13. So the other 3 digits in each case add up to 14. Okay, and here we ask the question the other way round. So where does the 9 go? And we don't know the answer, but we do know what the 9 has to be accompanied by, because the 9 must be accompanied by 2 more digits that add up to 5 that don't use 4. So there's a 9 in this column. All right, here's a deduction. So the 9 in this column, we haven't got a clue where it goes. But we do know what its partners are in its cage. The 9 has to go... Oh, this is so difficult to explain. But what I think it's meaning is there's a 9 in one of those 2. But let me try and articulate why I think that's true. Yeah, so both of these cages have 13 in 2 cells. And one of them has, as well as that 13 in 2 cells, the digits 9, 2 and 3. Let's just imagine it's this top cage for the sake of argument. Where would the 2 and the 3 go in this cage? If this cage has 9, 2, 3 and the yellow and the blue digit. Well, you can see this square can't be 2 or 3, and it can't be the yellow and the blue digit, so it's a naked single 9. And the same is true if obviously if the 9's in the bottom cage, this cell again, it sees 4 of the digits that need to be in the pentomino. So that would be a 9. So one of those is a 9. But we don't know We don't know which one, I don't think. I mean, this is where the symmetry is almost problematic, because it's so extreme that how are you ever going to disentangle which side up the 9 goes? That's got to, I almost feel that has to come out of something that's going on in this box or this box, which feels totally perverse. How can I have been going for 40 minutes? That has flown past. I don't know. I don't think. Ah, of course. Hang on. Oh, this is gorgeous. Right. Watch this. Okay. Wow. Okay, this is nothing to do with the 9s, but it is there. Okay, so I was wondering earlier whether we knew anything about these 5 cages, and now I do. Because this one, it's actually beautiful. It's so beautiful because it works for different reasons. Neither of these can now be a 2-3 pair for different reasons. This one can't be 2 and 3 because the red digit, whether it's 2 or 3, can go in neither cell. And this one can't be 2 or 3 because it actually sees the pair of digits that are 2 and 3 in that cell. So this cell's free and easy, but that one isn't. So actually, these are 1-4 pairs. Now, hang on, yeah, this does something in this corner, doesn't it? Because now 1 has to be here. 1 has to be here. And now where does 1 go in box 9? It's squeezed into the 8. Oh, this has done it. Right. So now because this is 1-7, to add up to 8, the 1 must be in the 8 cage. This is not 6-7. So this is 5-8. Which means these are 5-8, because we know those digits are the same as these digits. And that means, well, what does that mean? That means, I don't know. That means, well, one thing it means is that we know what these digits are. In fact, we know what all of these digits are. We don't know the order of them, but we know that 5 and 8 are no longer allowed to live in the orange and green pairs. So we can fill in all of these digits as 6s, 7s, 4s and 9s. Those aren't 7s. Now, if those aren't 7s, these aren't 6s. By a process of elimination. That's not 4 by the 1-4 pair. That's not 4 by the 1-4 pair. Yeah, we've got to keep working on symmetry. If we get a deduction, we have to apply it in both corners. No, 7 is definitely in one of those. 6 is definitely in one of these. 6 is not here, I suppose. That's a deduction. So that's 4 or 9. So that belongs... That's a very clear 13. So if we knew the colour of this, we wouldn't be able to know which one of these was 4, 9. Okay. Don't know what to do with that new information. It's a bizarre puzzle, actually. It is a bizarre puzzle because even when you find little bits of new information, I mean, I'm not even sure where I'm meant to look at the moment. So, and yeah, and I've got to try and discipline my brain, because, for example, I turned my brain to thinking about which one of these was 9s. I suppose, okay, there is the symmetry has been slightly affected by the fact that this is a 1-7, and that's knocked some things out of these squares. So we aren't in a totally symmetrical position anymore regarding the options for the sort of orange and green cages. Oh, I don't know. I've not thought about the 15 cage before. The 15 cage now hasn't got any 1s and hasn't got any 4s in it. Ah, so the 15 cage has no 9s in it then. Yeah, you can't put 9 in the 15 cage anymore, because the other two digits would have to either be 1-5 or 2-4. That's gorgeous. Right. Ah, yeah. Okay, so where is 9 in box 1? And the answer is, I really haven't got a Scooby-Doo. It's one of 4 places, but those 4 places do align rather prettily, look, with boxes 3 and 7's positions for 9s. Now that means... Oh, this is gorgeous. Oh, don't believe it. That works. That's done it. That has done it. Right, look at this. So now the question we ask, could I have seen this in a simpler way? I don't think, no, I think it's fine how I've seen this. It's fine, it's beautiful. Okay, where is 9 in row 1? It's not there anymore. It's not here. This 9 pencil mark takes it out of that square, and it can't be over here because it's a digit in orange or green. So it's there. That is a 9. Out of absolutely nowhere. Now, what does that mean? That means that 9... Oh, that's a 4. Because 9 now it's appeared in the 45 cage, can't repeat in the 45 cage. And that seems to only be able to be a 4 now. And that takes 4 out of the other 2 places. It takes 4 out of these 2 places. So this is now a 6-9 pair. And therefore these don't include 9. So this is a 4-7 pair. That 4 is correcting that digit, so this is now 1, that's a 4, that's a 1, that's a 4. So this is a 1. We're actually getting a few digits now. Yeah, okay, where's 4 in box 4? And the answer, I think, is there. It's exactly there. So 4 is not in these squares. 4 doesn't repeat in this cage, so it comes out of these squares. Oh, we could have done that with Sudoku anyway. But if 4 comes out of these squares, if 4 is in one of those squares, then 9 is in one of these squares. So 9 comes out of these squares. So 9 is now in this domino, and 4 is in this domino. So 9 comes out of those squares. Oh, look. This is a 6 or a 7. So that can't be a 6-7 pair. So orange is 4-9. And there we go. 4, 9, 6, 6, 7, 9. Oh, I was clicking, double click the 9s, expecting to have loads of them. I've got 3. I've got 3 only. Bobbins, I don't know. Okay. 9 is in that domino in box 4. 9 is... Oh, 9 is in one of 3 positions. Oh, 9, I wanted to pencil mark. My brain went upside down and put 6s. 9 is in one of these 3 cells. So if 9 is in the 45 cage down here, then 9 can't be there. So 9 would be here. Yeah, oh right, that's good. This is quite interesting. So there is a relationship, look. There's a lot of communication between these 2 positions for 9s and these 3 positions for 9s, in the sense that if this is a 9, then that is a 9, because it couldn't repeat in the 45 cage. Whereas, if there's a 9 in one of these 2 squares, then that is a 9. Right, so where is 9 in row 4? That's a fairly simple question. It's not there, is it? It's not in these 2 squares, because it's in these 2 squares. So 9's only got one place. So 9 is there. Now that's going to be good, because now we can work out these. Right, 9 goes with 5 and 8 to make 22. We need 2 more digits that add up to 5, which aren't 4 1s. So this was the idea we were thinking about before. So this is 2, 3, and blue. Okay, what we'll do is we'll do that. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I think I've got to pencil mark it fully. I'm going to put 2 and 3 in the corners, and 2, 3, 5 and 8 here. So now, or maybe we actually go grey and red up here. So this is now a grey, red, blue triple. So so grey is there by Sudoku, and that's not 9. So that's 2 or 3. So 9 is down. Oh, we're going to be able to do something with that. Hang on a second though. Red is down here, along with blue. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, but look, we've squeezed 9 into this domino now, so we can take it out of this square, and if we take it out of that square, we get the effect that we saw before. So that's now 9, which is in this 23 cage. 9 is now in one of 2 places over here. That's a green digit now, because green we worked out was 6, 7, so that's an orange digit. That's an orange digit. That's a green digit. That's an orange digit. And 9 is definitely here. So if that was 9, that would be 9, that would be 9. I don't know. That's not grey now anymore. And we can work out, can't we? Because we know that this cage has got 2 and 3 in it. Yeah, I see. Yes. Okay, so remember what we said. We were thinking about 1, weren't we, in row 5? Which 23 cage had 1 in it? And we worked out that the cage that had 1 in it had 8 and 9 with it. So now this has got 9 in it, so it's got to have 1 in its cage, and that must be here. Well, 1. So this must be, it must include 8. So these are from 2, 3 and 8, but it definitely has 8. Bobbins. Or 1 in box 2 seems to be placed. So 1 is down here. 1 is here by Sudoku. Let's double click the 1s. 1 is what? Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful if this is right. Where? Oh no. Yeah, no, that's right. There are 4 1s in effect. Looking at this box. And I think that has to be a 1. But if that's a 1, that is putting the 9 here. And now that's a 9 by Sudoku. And that's a 9, and that's a 9. And now that's a 4. So this is a 6, 7 pair. And we know, let's just clear everything out. Put 6 and 7 in. And we know 6 and 7 is the green pair. And we know this is the orange pair. And we know this is orange, and therefore that is green, because it's not 9 and it is 6 or 7. So we've got a 6, 7 pair. That looks right, doesn't it? We've got 2 digits left to place in the 45, and they are of the correct colour. 9. How many 9s have we got? All of them. How many 4s have we got? Lots. 4 is in one of those 2 squares by Sudoku. Now 4 4 is not red or blue, is it? So this is a red-blue 4. I don't really know how to... But no, I was going to say that must mean I know what these digits are. I don't think that's true at all. Hang on, what are those 2 digits? Ah, okay, they're 6s and 7s, but we might be able to colour those now. I mean, to colour within the 6-7 community. 4 is down here in box 9, and we've only got 2 more 4s to place. So I think we might as well get rid of our orange colour, and instead let's try and reassign it to the 6s and 7s of the world. Now, where is the place to do that? Actually, maybe it's not as easy as I thought it was. I thought I could do something. Yeah, no, you can. You can. That digit, what we'll do is we'll get rid of all colouring for 6s and 7s, and then we'll start again with colouring it, because this digit I'll make green, and that digit is not green, therefore, so we'll make it orange. So that digit is green, which means that digit is green, which means that digit is orange, which means that digit is orange. Oh, we could have got that from the top cage. Oh no. Alright, the corner digit is not 6 or 7 anymore. Oh, we knew it wasn't 7 already, but it sees both flavours. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. Oh, green is in that top cage. It's in the 15 cage. Ah, okay. Where is orange in this cage? That's a good question. Because orange is in one of those squares by Sudoku. So orange is in one of these squares by Sudoku, but there's orange and green here. That is an orange-green pair, so it can't go there. So that's got to be orange, which is not, therefore, whatever. Why? What was? Ah, okay, this is great. So that's 6 or 7 now. Yellow, which was that digit, now is definitely not the same as that digit by a process of knowing 4 is not the same number as 5 or 8. So that must be the yellow digit. But now I've got 6 and 7. I've got both orange and thingy thing in that top cage. So that is 6 and 7, and that digit is a 2 by mathematics. Ah, and now I can colour these, because that can't be orange, and therefore that is orange. And now orange is there by a process of deduction. That's green, therefore. So green is now here. This is beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. But do we know? How are we going to work out which one of these is... Oh, I see. Look, this has been... No, this is how you do it. Look, that's a 1 by Sudoku, and that's a 7. Or... No, maybe that doesn't do it. Sorry, I thought that was going to do it. I'm not sure. So orange is either there or there. Yes, you can do it, actually. You can do it, because what we can do is ask where orange is in this box. And we're not going to be able to pinpoint it. But it's not there, and it's not there, and it's not these digits. So orange is in one of these 2 positions, which is looking at that digit. So that must be green, because it can't be orange, and that must be orange. So 7 is orange. And green is always 6. Now, has that done anything? I'm not sure. Oh, that's orange. It does orangeify that. Orange we can place now in box, and that's not a 1, is it? That's a 7. So this has become a 1 by Sudoku. How many 1s have we got? All of them. So 1s are done. 1s are not the yellow digit, so that must be a yellow digit. That's a 5 or an 8. So now we get to communicate which way up this is. So the yellow digit is on the top and the blue digit is on the bottom, which is that one. So that's not blue anymore. And for our next trick, what are those digits? They are 3, 5 and 8. Let's put that in. We've ticked over the hour I've just seen. That doesn't surprise me at all with this one. I'm quite pleased that we've got this far, actually. Right, what's that digit? That's blue, isn't it? I've not put blue in this row. So that must be a blue digit, which is a 5 or an 8. And that must be a blue digit by a process of Sudokuing, where blue would go in box 1. So blue is down here. Oh, I see. Look, this is a 3, 5, 8 triple at the bottom of this column. So that digit's known. That's a 2. Okay. Well, hang on. If that's right, I'm going to get that digit. Hang on. How on earth has that unwound itself? I don't know, but it does seem to, by Sudoku, it seems to be true, doesn't it, that that's become a 2. So that's a 3, that's a 3. Grey's digits are 2s now. Grey digits are 2s, let's make that grey. So that's not grey. That's grey. So grey is there. That's beautiful because that's going to plonk a 4 in the corner. Now 4 is uncoloured, so it doesn't deserve a colour, but it does mean that's a 4, and 4 is uncoloured, so that's definitely not the red digit. So these two digits now are blue, which is 5 or 8, and red, which is 3. Okay, there's a 3 in one of these. Don't know if I know which one. You guys probably do. Ah, that's a 3, because it can't be 5 or 8. So the yellow digit now lives in the corner of the puzzle and the blue digit doesn't. And therefore that's not blue, so that's the red digit, which is a 3. So this is a blue digit and is a 5 or an 8. So I've now got a 5-8 pair. Oh, I see. That's just placing 3 in the bottom, not in the corner. No song for you. That's now a 6 by Sudoku. So, oh, 6 is the green digit, isn't it? So that's a 6 by Sudoku, which is very welcome. Thank you, Sudoku. In this column, I don't think we've put a something in. A 3, isn't it? That's good. Okay, so that's a 3. These squares are... oh, it's 3, 5 and 8 everywhere. 3, 5s and 8s seem to have to be placed all over the place. So this is a 5-8 pair. Okay, I'm getting slightly concerned that I'm supposed to know how to resolve these 5s and 8s. Oh, it'll be no, will it be maths? I was thinking it was going to be maths there, but that's got 5 and 8 in it. It might be maths somewhere. I don't know. Oh, well, yes, okay. How about that one? Oh, this is good. Yeah, this is good. Look. Okay. So that's... oh, yeah. Do you remember when we were looking at the rows, we noted that 5, 6 and 7 joined a 2 and a 3 to add up to 23. Well, that must be 5 because this has got 6 and 7 in it. So 5 is blue. 8 is yellow. Boom. 8 is yellow. That's a 5 then. So by Sudoku, that's an 8. That must be a 3. So 3 is there in this box. Goodness only knows, it's got so many pencil marks going on in box 2. Let's just delete everything and work out what we've got left to place. We've got 2 and 5 to place. And somehow those aren't resolved. That's weird. Ah, but where does 5 go in the top row? It's got to go here. So 5, 2, 2, 5. Okay, and these squares are somethings. 2s and 8s. Okay, you can do that. That's 8, and that's 2. Okay, so all that's left to do is to colour everything appropriately. Let us do that, and then we can see whether we've got this beautiful puzzle right. Those are red. What were 5s? 5s were meant to be blue wherever they appeared. Has everything got its colour? No, 8s haven't all got yellowed. 9s, did they ever earn a colour? That's meant to be yellow. 9s didn't earn a colour. 1s, 4s and 9s seem to not have earned colours. And that feels very unkind, really. Because this 4 was a star of the show. That 4 is beautiful. I'm going to colour them purple because they deserve it. Because that was exceptionally clever, what Qodec had done with this domino. Exceptionally clever. And the other thought that I had... Oh, there were so many things that were beautiful. It was beautiful that you could stop these being 2s and 3s. I thought that was beautiful. The whole way that the geometry works, it's quite stunning, really. This is a stunning puzzle. It's a worldy Qodec. That is a world-class puzzle. You could hunt far and low and not find a killer Sudoku with that much beauty in it and so many clever ideas and a stunning idea with those 2 cells. Seeing these 4 cells, it's just chef's kiss. Brilliant. Let me know in the comments if you had a go, and let me know how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and especially where they give Qodec an awful lot of plaudits. Qodec, take a bow as I genuflect before you. That was magnificent, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.